welcome to Real Talk with Sean, everybody. This afternoon, I have the pleasure of speaking with Miss Nadine, who suffers from chronic pain. And today we're going to be discussing that, as well as how mental health also plays a part with that. Thank you so much for joining me this afternoon, Nadine. I really appreciate you.
Thank you for having me, Sean. I appreciate you taking the time to do this.
Absolutely, not a problem. Before I even ask my first question, I want to let you know that I think that you're a strong woman.
Thank you.
And my reason for that is because you still get up, push through. And I noticed that you even said it one day on your page. You were like, you just you get up and you dance through the pain.
Yeah.
And so I love that you're doing that, because as we know, when we speak of pain, mental health does play a part, and that can take you out more than the actual physical pain.
Yeah, for sure.
Thank you, very strong for pushing through.
Thank you.
What is the chronic pain that you deal with? What is it?
Well, I have an autoimmune disease called ankylosing spondylitis. So it's basically an inflammatory form of arthritis that primarily attacks the spine. And then it's a progressive disease, so it spreads to larger joints in the body. So it causes inflammation in the joints. Oh. It causes joint damage. In severe cases, you can become hunched forward if it goes untreated for a long period of time. So the pain that I experience daily right now, I've progressed since 2018. I was diagnosed. I progressed, so I have arthritis in every joint in my body. Wow. So you can imagine just the pain of that in your spine, and then widespread body pain is hard to deal with every single day. It's not easy dealing with it every single day, but you know, I look at certain people and I just say, I'm able to fight.
Right.
And I know a lot of other people don't have that fight in them, or they're not able to fight certain medical conditions that they're faced with. Yep. So in my case, I'm like, okay, there's no cure for this disease, but there's treatments. I can self-care. I do a lot of self-care. I try to stretch every day. I eat well. I dance. I keep moving as much as I can. I have my days where I get depressed. I have my days where, I'm having a bad day. It's not always smiles and dancing all the time, because people think that, because I portray that on the internet, and people think, oh, Nay has it all together. She got this. And right. Off camera, they don't know what I go through.
Absolutely. I mean, and I saw on one of your posts about that. Like, just because she gets online and dances, I mean, that does not mean that she's not still in pain, even as she dances. So I mean, we can sit on the other side and judge somebody all we want, but we do not know what they're dealing with physically.
Right.
But I do believe that's where the mental part comes in, because our body can sustain, pain. I mean, women go through childbirth, that hurts.
Right.
It's how you deal with it up here.
Yes, exactly.
And it takes the pain away, but it does help you push through.
Yeah, definitely.
So, for sure. I definitely get it. And to those people, I mean, just stop it. Stop.
Yeah.
I mean, we know damn well as an adult that people deal with chronic pain and still are able to get online and smile. Just stop the bullshit.
Right, and function, and I have a lot of people on my page that suffer with the same disease or other conditions, and they look at me like for inspiration. So I'm like, I gotta keep doing it, because they're watching me. Some people love it, some people hate it, and I don't care about the people that hate it. I care about the people that love it, and I'm motivating them and making a difference in their life, because some people give up. Some people give up. They're like, I'm gonna stay in bed all day. I'm in too much pain. I can't move today. But if they see my video of if I can do it, and they see that video of me moving for 15 or 60 seconds, they're motivated to do it also. So why wouldn't I keep doing that?
Exactly. And I 100% agree with you. And I mean, I'm just one person, but I'm one that's telling you to please continue doing what you're doing, because like you said, I mean, haters they're going to be there, and they may say some nasty, foul stuff to be, to you, but it really can't touch me, because what I'm doing is so much bigger than what you're saying.
Exactly.
So I commend you for that. Tell me, you're welcome. What is the name of it again? Because I never heard of it.
Nobody has. When I was first diagnosed, it's ankylosing spondylitis.
Ankylosing
spondylitis.
Spondylitis.
Yeah. So ankylosing is actually fusing of the bones. So that's what ankylosing means. Okay. And then the spondylitis is the inflammation that comes along with it.
Okay. Okay.
So there's two terms for ankylosing spondylitis. So that's what basically it is. It's an autoimmune disease that causes inflammation in the joints. And it could also attack your organs like your lungs and your heart. So that's why I'm always, they're constantly like, I see a pulmonologist, I see a cardiologist. So they're always monitoring my organs as well to make sure that there's no inflammation around my organs.
Okay, I got it.
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't understand that for a second, but now I understand.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, when I was first diagnosed, I never heard of it either. I was like, what? I can't even pronounce it, right. Let alone knew what it was. And then I was like, I gotta find people that had this. I can't be the only one, you know. Right. So that I started searching on the internet for people, and I found like this whole community of people that had the same condition, and I was like, wow.
You just know what's out there.
Yeah, you don't know, right?
That is amazing. So, is it genetic? Like what? I mean, because you just found out in 2018. So I mean,
right.
Was it something that was already going to happen? Did it just develop in you? Where did it come from?
So they say it's genetic,
okay.
But the family members that I have alive today, none of them have it. So I don't know if, your family goes generations and generations and generations. So who knows if someone that passed away in my family had it.
Right.
Because they say when you live with this specific antigen, which is called the HLA-B27, that you were born with it.
HLA
B27.
Okay.
So I tested positive for that because I went to see a jaw surgeon because my jaw, when I was younger, as a teenager, my jaw started shifting to like one side of my face, really bad. And as I got older, it started getting worse and worse and worse. And people would notice like, Nay, what's going on with your face? Like, why is it crooked like that? And I'm like, I didn't really notice it because I was just like, when I was a teenager, I didn't care.
Yeah.
But as I got older, people started noticing it. And I started noticing it when I took pictures. Like, wow, my face is like kind of crooked. It's not aligned. It's not straight. So I put braces on. I went to the orthodontist, but he told me that my teeth were fine. If I put braces on, it wouldn't fix the asymmetry in my face. I would have to go see a jaw surgeon for it. So I went to see the jaw surgeon, make a long story short, and they tested me. They did a whole bunch of blood tests. They did a CAT scan of my face. They found that I had a lot of joint damage in my jaw. I had jaw dysfunction. They diagnosed me with a dental facial deformity because I had joint damage that went untreated for years.
Okay. So it was already trying to rear its head.
Yep. Mm-hmm. In my face. Okay. Right. Okay. Yep. So they told me.
I didn't mean to cut you off before you.
No.
Yeah. I definitely want to hear the rest of that. When you're, not to say your mother, I mean kids, because I have kids, and I'm going to pretty much kind of listen to what the doctor tells me, unless it gets really bad, the pain, then I'm going to know something's going on. But did anybody question, okay, like, what can we do to treat this? Or they didn't actually say, okay, let me look into the name of what they call it now that you're diagnosed with it. Back then, when your jaw was shifting, the doctors didn't think about that when that was happening. Wow. Okay.
Nope. All the dentist told my mom was that, you could put the braces on her, but it's not going to fix the jaw issue that she's having. It's only going to fix her teeth. Because I had an open crossbite.
Okay.
So he said, I can fix the teeth, but I'm not going to be able to fix her jaw. And he didn't know what was going on with my jaw because he wasn't specialized in that. He was only specialized in teeth. So, it went undiagnosed for years. And then in my 30s, I started getting the severe lower back and hip pain because I didn't have it. Like in my 20s, I didn't have body pain. I was fine. I used to work out like every single day.
Right.
And when I started getting this body pain, I was like, what is going on with my back? Like, this is not normal. I have kids, so I thought
I was going to ask that.
Maybe the epidural is like, affecting me now, years later. But then I was like, I would take a Tylenol and the pain wouldn't go away. So and it was constant. It was like constant. And when I would sit for long periods of time, the pain would increase.
Right.
So I'm like, I gotta find out what's going on with my body because this is not normal. And then I went to a whole bunch of doctors and no one knew what was going on. And then when I went to the jaw surgeon is when I found out that I had an autoimmune disease.
Wow.
Crazy, right?
That is amazing. Like,
Mm-hmm.
that is crazy. So what about, because I heard you mention fibromyalgia.
Mm-hmm.
You have that as well. And what is that?
So fibromyalgia is it attacks your central nervous system. So you have nerve pain, basically. And they say when you have ankylosing spondylitis, you're at risk for developing fibromyalgia. So most people that have ankylosing spondylitis will develop or have developed fibromyalgia as a secondary autoimmune disease. So those two combined is like
Right.
a nightmare.
That's what I'm thinking about. Like, I mean, I've heard of fibromyalgia, but of course I never really studied it or
Right.
you know what it entails. And none
Yeah.
of those, neither one of those are curable. They're
Right.
treatable.
They're treatable, but they're not curable. And some of the treatments are not always effective. You know, you have to go through different treatments to see what your body is going to take to, so to say.
Yeah.
I've gone through many different treatments, and you know, I would say maybe two of them have been effective, but then they caused other issues, so I had to get off of them. So it's like
Wow.
yeah.
You got to outweigh the good with the bad. So you'll go
Right.
and find a treatment that'll help this, but then it causes this or makes
Yes.
this act up even more.
Right.
So there's
Right.
really no, like you just got to choose which pain is worse.
Right. Right.
That sucks. And the fact that you can sit here, and that's why I said I'm all about uplifting when it needs to be done. You know, the
Right.
fact that you can sit here right now, and like you said, that's not to be fake and say that you don't go through pain
Right.
and you don't cry, like right when you get off this Zoom, you know.
Right.
But the fact that you can still sit here and smile dealing with that,
Yeah.
not just the physical pain, the fact that you said you've been from doctor to doctor trying this and this and this,
Mm-hmm.
that's a lot of mental wear and tear.
Yep, it is.
So
It
how
is.
do you handle that part? What is your like, and what keeps you going?
My kids,
I get it.
my family, I know that they need me. I know that if I'm not strong for them, then I'm not going to be strong for anybody if I'm not strong for my kids.
Right.
You know, because they're the sole people that need me in their life.
Right.
So if they see mommy down, which they have, you know, they have seen me down before. It's not always pretty, but I just know that they need me, and I'm not a quitter. You know, it's not in my blood to give up. It's never been in my blood to give up. I come from a strong bloodline, you know, a strong bloodline. So it's never been like in me to just say, oh, okay, well, I have this now. I'm just gonna stop living my life and stop doing what I'm doing. You know, no, that's not the person that I am.
Right. No, I definitely understand that. And I mean that you're already showing your strength by doing what you're doing. And like you
Yeah.
said, at this point, people look for you, look to,
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, for inspiration. I mean,
Right.
and the same way I noticed you, we know that others are noticing you. And I watch your page. I mean, you know, I love watching you. And I know that you said you were in pain. On one of your posts, you said you were in pain, but you're pushing through, you know,
Right. Push through
just
it, you
do
know.
it. And
The
that,
pain doesn't, you know, what people don't understand is that when you're living with chronic pain, it's chronic. It doesn't go away. You know, I use heating pads and I use ice packs. You know, before I make a dancing video, there's a lot of preparation that goes into that. You know, I don't just press record and then it happens. And then after the video also, I have to lay down and ice and use my heating pad. So there's a lot of stuff that goes into it that the people don't see. And maybe I should show that one day, because I think it's good to educate people, but I don't always like showing the bad. I rather focus on more of what I can do rather than what I can't do. But if I'm raising awareness for this disease, people need to know what this disease is actually doing to your body. So other people can, you know, there's been people that said, Nadine, I have back pain, and it's been like, it doesn't go away. I've had back pain for like 3 or 4 months. I'm like, you need to go get checked.
I'm telling you, because there's, and don't let people just tell you, because most doctors, when you have back pain, you have a muscle spasm and give you muscle relaxers. But there's sometimes there are underlying issues, and you yourself have to push the doctors to do more. You know, then we know how insurance plays a part. I'm sorry. They'll look at the type of insurance you have and say, oh, just tell her it's muscle spasms or whatever. Give her an x-ray, but they're not going to do intense work.
Right.
find out what the underlying issue is. And so
Yep.
you're right. I believe that we also have to be aware of our own bodies, because our
Yep.
bodies talk to us. We just have to listen.
Of course, we have to listen, right? And you got to be your own advocate. You know, I always say that, like, ask a lot of questions
Yep.
and, you know, research everything that's being put in your body, you know, because doctors will, that's their job. You know, they study medicine. They don't study certain diseases that are out here. They study medicine.
Yes,
So
sir.
they're gonna push the medication on you because they're like, this medication cures this not cures it, but treats it.
Right.
And they're going to push it on you. And if you don't do your research on what's going in your body, you're not going to know what's going to happen to your body or how your body's going to react to it. So I always tell people, like, you know, research what's being put in your body, and don't be afraid to say no to doctors. Like, listen, this medication, I've been on this medication for 3 months. It's not helping me. So I don't want to be on this medication no more because it's causing me stomach issues. It's causing me headaches. I don't want to have headaches on top of chronic pain.
Exactly. No, you're right. And people,
you know,
that's a big deal what you're saying, because I myself, you know, in my younger days would have, you know, oh, you give me this prescription, I just fill the prescription and I take it because that's what the doctor said.
Right.
So, you know, I just do what they say. But you have to actually research yourself, because if you know you're dealing with this type of pain, you need to make sure that that medicine for your own self, that it's not going to mess with these other issues. Because I know a lot of people going through chronic pain and they're on so many different medicines.
Yeah.
They have other issues. And I'm like, you really don't know what medicines are counteracting with each other, because at this point, you're taking so many different ones. You're just bottles and just taking them.
Right.
You know? So I do agree with what you're saying. We have to study for ourselves and educate ourselves, and not just take their word.
Right.
You know, and like you said, tell them no, I've tried this, and now can we do something different with the kids? With the kids, how do they deal with when you're going through your, are they young first and foremost? Are they still little kids?
Well, my oldest is 15, my middle is 10, and then I have a baby, she's 2.
Ooh,
yeah. Started all over again.
You done started all over again. That 2-year-old keeps you going. Whoa.
Yeah.
How do you deal with that when you're going through the pain and the baby? How do you deal with that?
You know, my 15-year-old, he's a huge help.
And it's a boy. Oh, good.
My 15-year-old, he's a huge help with the baby. You know, I'm still able to function with her. You know, it's hard, you know, picking her up sometimes. You know, I have to, you know, do certain things. Like, I'll tell her to come and she'll pick her hands up and then I can pick her up. But when there's days I'm just like in too much pain and I can't, you know, he'll help me with her. So that I'm blessed in that way, because I know that he's always going to be there.
That's what's up. And it's a boy. I mean, you know, I could look at it like, no, you know, boys are going to protect their mother. He's a young man, rather, so he's going to protect his mother. You know, but I would think, you know, a girl, because girls are not all girls, but some, you know, most women are nurturing, so they're gonna, I got her, mommy, but you got your son helping you. Kudos, dude. That means that you're doing a good job raising him because he got your back.
Yeah, he does.
So what about pain medicine? Like, are you on pain medicine daily?
So this is the thing. So I live in Florida. So when I was in New York, they would give me oxycodone, my pain management doctor. But here in this state, they don't prescribe pain medication for some reason. They prescribe it, but it's not the medication that we're used to taking. Like, they gave me something called Belbuca, and that's their form of a milder form of narcotic that is less addictive.
Okay.
But it doesn't work, or it makes me sick. It makes me nauseous.
Right.
So I don't take it because that's the only option they have for me as far as pain medication. And honestly, when I need pain relief, I have to go into the emergency room. And the only way that my pain gets to like maybe like a 5 is I get this cocktail, and that includes steroids, anti-inflammatory, muscle relaxer, and either morphine or oxycodone.
And that's from the emergency room.
Yeah, from the emergency room. That's the only time I really get any kind of relief, is when I have to go to the emergency room, because I can't take the pain anymore. Like, it's just unbearable and I can't take it. So I have to go to the emergency room, because the stuff that they give me, it doesn't help with the pain. You know, it really doesn't. I know that they're treating the inflammation, but the pain that comes along with these illnesses, they're not treating the pain. And when I go to pain management, they want to do like a spinal cord stimulator. So it's like a stimulator that gets implanted permanently in your spine, and you can control it from the outside. And it's supposed to like stimulate your nerves on the inside. But that's a surgery.
And there's risk with that. I'm pretty sure it's on your spine.
Right. And there's risk with that. And I already had, like, I had double jaw surgery to correct my jaw in 2018. And I've had cardiac ablation because I had PVCs in my heart. So I had cardiac ablation last year. And that was like the worst procedure I had, because I was barely asleep. They couldn't fully sedate me, because if they fully sedated me, the PVCs would stop and they wouldn't be able to ablate them. So I've been through some things that I don't want any more surgery right now for. So I'm really against surgery right now, because I'm just like, I'm just going to fight through it until I can't fight anymore. And that'll be like my last option.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yo, talk about strong, man. I mean, because strong ain't always lifting weights and
right,
working out in the gym. I mean, just listening to that, it's like, I mean, it touches me, because that's a lot. That's just a lot, to the point where your only option of having some relief, and of course I know that probably doesn't take it all away. I don't know, but it gives you some relief to feel like you can live. It's when you go to the emergency room and they inject you with a cocktail. And I do struggle with the pain medicine thing, because of people being addicted to pain medicine. Like, how do you feel about that? Like, as far as them not doing it, as opposed to you being on it, because then you get addicted to pain.
Right.
I mean, we get addicted to anything, whether it be we're on muscle relaxers daily, or addictive medicine, depression medicine, anxiety medicine. We become addicted to it.
Right.
Of course, pain medicine is one, but pain medicine, unlike some of those, the withdrawals of that can be really harsh. Like, how do you feel about being on pain medicine?
I wouldn't see, when I was on pain medication, I wouldn't take it daily. I will only take it if I can't tolerate the pain. So there's been days where, okay, I wake up, I'm stiff, I have pain there, but I'm able to function throughout the day. But there's other days where I wake up and I'm just like, I don't know how I'm gonna get through this day. What if I don't take something? If I don't take some kind of pain medication, or I don't go to the emergency room, I'm not gonna get through the day. Right. Because I just can't, like, your body can handle but so much, and you mentally can handle but so much. Like, it's a lot when you're dealing with pain. It's not easy. So I wish that, it wasn't a thing here where people are so addicted to it that chronic illness patients can't get pain medication for their chronic pain, because there's such an epidemic of people getting addicted to them that they don't want to prescribe it to nobody, because there's an addiction problem. There's an abuse problem with them. So, I can't really say that I'm against it, because I need it sometimes. It'll be nice to say, oh, I don't need to go to them. I don't have to drive myself to the emergency room. I can just take it if it's here.
And you got to drive. I just heard you say you got to drive yourself.
Right.
That's a lot.
Yeah. So, it's not always easy, but I'm getting through it, one day at a time. I take it one day at a time, one moment at a time. I do a lot of self-care. I try to eat well. And I just I take care of my mental. That's the most important thing. You have to take care of your mental, because it will get overwhelming. It is hard. Like, it's not easy, dealing with pain 24/7 in your body. It's definitely not.
It is. If anybody thinks that it is, I don't know what's wrong with them.
Right.
Because if I had a stomach ache and I had to deal with that all day, every day, just constantly rearing its ugly head at certain points, that's just not. It's not. It don't feel good.
Right.
So, and you and others like you deal with that daily. So, not only that, you still, like I said, push through and smile, and you're not out here trying to hurt people. And that's the whole reason that I'm doing this page, is because it's awareness.
Yeah.
The standing, so that we never know what the next person is going through. And it doesn't help to treat people nice, man.
Right. It definitely doesn't. I tell people that all the time.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. And so that's exactly why I'm doing this. I mean, just like you said, even with your videos, you're not doing anything negative, and here's somebody somebody will find their way to say something
negative.
Yeah, so it's
always like what?
And it's ridiculous. But I know, and I know you know that those people that do that, you have a problem with yourself. Period.
With yourself, right?
Yep. There's no other. There's nothing else, but you have a problem with yourself.
With yourself, right? That's a you problem, not a me problem.
It really is.
None of my business.
Yep. Because I'm here for questions.
Right.
The disrespect or the comments that are negative, you have a problem with yourself. And I'm looking right in the camera. You have a problem with yourself, people.
Right.
So stop it. So when did you realize, okay, I'm dealing with this, and let me take this negative that I'm dealing with and turn it into a positive by spreading awareness and coming online and, sharing your life and your dances and your happiness with the world, even though you're going through pain behind.
Yeah. It started with my mom, actually. When I was first diagnosed, my mom, I was living with my mom at the time in New York and my 2 boys. And when I told her, I have this autoimmune disease called ankylosing spondylitis, and that's why I've been in so much pain. And she was like, what is that? And I was like, right. We researched it together. I pulled it up. We got on the computer. We researched it together. And, she just gave me a hug when she found out, like when she was reading, all the symptoms of it. She just gave me a hug and she said, you're going to be all right. You're strong. You come from a strong family. You're going to be okay. And I was like, I know, Ma, but I can't work anymore. Like I had lost my job already because they couldn't keep me for, I couldn't be on medical leave for a certain amount of time. So I had lost my job already. I was like in a really, really depressed stage when I got diagnosed. And I was sleeping a lot because I had so much fatigue, all the different treatments that I was going through. It made me weak. Like I wanted to sleep all the time. That's all I wanted to do was sleep. I took like maybe 5-6 naps a day. And my mom one time came in my room and she was like, what are you going to do? Nap all year? So that's when nap all year, I changed my profile recently. But the nap all year is that. And everybody calls me Nay. So Nay, nap all year. It just made sense to make that my profile name. So when she said that to me, when she said, what are you going to do? Nap all year? And I was like, no, Ma. She's like, you got to get your up.
Oh, you can say it. We keep it real. Okay.
She's like, you got to get your ass up and you got to fight this. You got to get up. You got to fight this. Go find people that have this,
There you go.
So she motivated me a lot to get online and start looking for people. And if it wasn't for her, I don't know, how I would have. She was my rock through it all. And I lost my mom in 2020. So that's been like not having her be my rock anymore has just been really, really hard. Yeah. Because she was my motivation to start spreading awareness and fighting back. Yeah.
She's still here. Nah, yeah. She ain't gone nowhere, just the physical, of course. Right. Listen, I'm not the one that has to deal with that. So by no means do I mean any disrespect saying this, but she's still here in the mental. Because first of all, you carry that name. She gave it to you. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I like that. That made sense a lot. It made a lot of sense. Secondly, you're still doing exactly what she said. You got this. You got this. Until you don't have no more fight in you. But you already know you don't come from a weak family. You already, like she told you. So she's still here with you, pushing you along the way. Every time, you probably do have those moments. She's the one probably grabbing you up when you don't know where the strength came from.
Right. Yep. So I believe that. Yeah, I definitely believe that.
Yeah, that's her. I know it is. Trust me. I'm telling you. She got you. So, I want you to keep doing what you're doing. Please keep doing what you're doing.
I will. Thank you.
Absolutely. And before I let you go, I got one last question for you. Will you promise me to always spread peace and love in this world?
Absolutely.
I already know you will. I look in your eyes and I can tell you will.
So, definitely. Always.
Thank you so much. And again,
thank you,
you're welcome.